guys, what's up? We are here at the gym, me and Rafael
Bom dia.
Castillo. Today we're gonna talk a little bit about health, about food habits, how you can improve your life through what you eat every day, your food choices, and how much that can benefit you in many different aspects of life. And we all know that the very old say, like, you are what you eat. Okay, so me and Rafael, we really try to prioritize food related with what we do, with the lifestyle, with jiu-jitsu. And I think that's a big part of everything what we do is very much related with the food habits that we have. You know, Houston is a place that's have so many options for food, right? There's so many things that you can find. You can find all kinds of food here. So many restaurants. There's a big culture about going out and eat and experience new foods. We have students here that actually own restaurants from food from different countries. And today we'd like to talk a little bit about that, right? People always ask us like, hey, what do you guys do to keep healthy? You know, especially new students when they come, they always have a goal to lose a little bit of weight, to lose a little bit of body fat, or some students, they even want to gain weight. You know, we have students that they come to the gym and they ask like, hey, is jiu-jitsu gonna help me to build a little bit of muscles and how that works? So today we just would like to share a little bit with everybody what we do for ourselves to try to keep a healthy life. You know, jiu-jitsu, it's a lifestyle. We try to embrace this as a lifestyle, and no doubt that food, it's a big part of that.
Huge part. And one of the things that we would like to start for you guys to get context in, and this for me too, because I'm curious at how was the relation with Jackson with food, and how you started with your relationship with food, because different people have different relationships with food.
Mm-hmm.
So how was yours when you started to like say like, okay, I'm gonna get my diet or the way I eat a little bit better with either you started before jiu-jitsu, you started after jiu-jitsu, how your diet was important in your life and everything like that, like how you started with your relationship with food.
My relation with food have a long path. Being a obese child, I gone through all kinds of diet when I was young, a lot of medication for appetite, you know, and when I was young, I really tried everything, you know. My family tried to direct me many different ways, like to get help to lose weight. I always had problem to lose weight, you know. I was an obese child, so I remember like when I was young, maybe when I was like 6, 7 years old, I was already like dealing with this food habit, you know. My family trying to put me in the right direction. And of course, it's hard for you to lead somebody in the right direction when you don't do that for your own. My family never had any food education or any nutrition education. So they just tried their best, what they knew at that point, what they didn't know much about it, you know. So they just tried to direct me on the way that people told them, hey, try this diet here, maybe your kid can lose some weight. And living in the US, I see the difference of the culture. You know, in Brazil, being obese is you're kind of an alien. You know, people really judge you for that. You know, they really judge you for being obese. And I think here in America it's much more normal. You know, to have.
In Brazil, you don't see as much, but then here you see.
Today you probably see a little more. You know, but back then was like.
Rare.
You being obese, you get a lot of attention. You know, that's probably one of the reasons that I had a lot of bully situations when I was young. It was very much related for the way I look, you know. And I've tried everything when I was young. I tried all kinds of diet, and I cannot even name them. It was so much different things. And how they call it, like this up and down. You lose weight, and then you feel good, and then you lose track and you gain weight again. And I think a lot of people can relate themselves with this situation. You know, that you lose weight and you gain weight again. And no doubt, when I start jiu-jitsu, I really put myself in a different path, because you feel jiu-jitsu reminds you when you come to the gym after you have a little experience and you come and train and you feel like your performance in train, it's very much affected with what you eat in the previous night, in the previous day. Or maybe you had a heavy lunch and you go to train in the night and you feel like your body's heavy and it's not performing that same way. So jiu-jitsu really squeezes you in the corner and reminds you that whatever you eat right now, you're gonna feel that later. You know, we have cases here, like especially in the morning class, right? Students come here and they have heavy breakfast in the morning, and the guys train a little bit, and you see, have to sit, and that food is really heavy on him, and then he bring it up like, oh, professor, I don't feel too good today. And I said, did you have breakfast today? Yeah, I ate this heavy breakfast. And sometimes people report to me that they drove through a fast food restaurant in the morning, and they grab a fast food breakfast, and they come to the gym, they eat in the car, and they come to the gym, and then they try to train, and the body don't respond the way it should. You know, and I don't think there is a general diet that you can not prescribe, but you can recommend to the students, like, hey guys, everybody follow this diet here and then you're gonna be good. I think everybody have different habits, everybody have different cultures, and
was the one that worked for you?
Which one that works for me?
That worked for you, like you started and then you came here to US, saw the different cultures, and then you started like trying different things, and then you stick with one.
What I really stick to it is to make it very simple. You know, I really try to eat very clean, very simple. Very much, I don't go too much to restaurants. I try to eat most of the food that I cook in the house. I'm very fortunate to have time to go home and cook my own food, and I can say I'm pretty good cooking what I like. You know, maybe not everybody really like what I cook, but I'm very pleased with what I cook and what I eat, you know. But of course, like, people don't have the time, you know, to spend like this hour. Maybe like I spend more than an hour cooking every day, probably, for me and for my kids, for my wife, for my family. I always try to leave the food ready, but I don't follow like one diet. You know, what I try to apply is not being abusive of anything. You know, I believe that even water, if you drink too much water, you're gonna feel sick. You know, everything you overdo, you're gonna have consequence for that. You know, it's and I had problem with that for many times. You know, when I still have, but when I stick with something that I like, I eat that food for the whole month. You know, and imagine like you feel like pizza, and then you eat the pizza the whole month. You know, so what I do right now, like when I decide, for example, now I'm very much into the chia pudding. You know, I've been eating a lot of chia pudding, so I eat that like 3-4 times a week. But chia pudding is something very healthy. Chia seed is one of the healthiest seeds that you can find out there. You know, so even if I overeat chia pudding, if I replace my lunch today, instead of I eat lunch and I eat like this big bowl of chia pudding, it's still something that's very healthy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like I don't really stick with a diet. You know, of course I try to avoid.
Give an example, like for people to understand. Like, give an example of one food that you eat today, that you go home right now and then you eat.
Yeah. So for example, today, what I did last night. Last night I got home every day after I finished the evening training. I get home around 9 p.m. after the class. I go check on my kids, check on my wife. That's the bedtime already. I spend like 30 minutes, 1 hour with them. And then I go to the kitchen, I cook the food for my kids next day. So yesterday I was cooking food for them. I did roasted cauliflower in the oven. I put cauliflowers in the oven with little season on it for 30 minutes. So roast the cauliflower. and I cook a big pot of quinoa, plain quinoa with garlic and salt and oil. And I left this big container of quinoa in the fridge. So when I get home today to have lunch, I have that quinoa there.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the base of my lunch. I'm gonna put something on top of that quinoa today. Maybe a little bit of the cauliflower, maybe cut a half avocado, put on it, and I'm gonna eat a big plate of quinoa with avocado and cauliflower today. And then that's it. That's my lunch. I didn't have any breakfast today. I've been very much trying to do the intermittent fast.
Yeah.
You know, to do at least like 3-4 times a week, to give this 16 to 18 hours.
How's that going, by the way? How are you feeling now?
Really good. I'm really getting more. I've been like a beginner. You know, I just started to go into this fasting thing, and I really feel good doing that. I really feel good to have this cleanse of 18 hours, and I'm still dealing with how to break the fast, because I feel very hungry after 18 hours. Actually, you don't feel like very hungry after this break, you know, but like a couple of times I overate after this break, you know, so I'm trying like to break the fast and control a little bit better. No, but it's incredible the way I feel.
No,
after
but I ask you because I remember that and actually this is something that is a conversation that Jackson and I was having, that I was telling Jackson before, because you started intermittent fasting when?
Recently, maybe like 4 months ago. Yeah. Four months ago, probably, yeah.
And during that time, you weren't training as often as before. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let's see how you react when you start training again more often, because I know that what was up here before, like I think the arm, you have problems a little bit with the arm.
Yeah, I had some tendinitis on my arm. That's something that I deal often with, goes and come back.
So Jackson wasn't training much. So he was eating and then wasn't training much after. So that's why I'm asking, because when you try a diet, you try with everything like with your regular life. So that's why I'm asking Jackson now, like, how you feeling now with training? Are you feeling energetic still?
Yes, I do feel. Actually, this fasting, it's gives me a lot of energy. I feel like my body functioning very well doing that. And I can probably do that 3-4 times a week, maybe 5 times a week, no problem at all.
Oh, so you don't do it every day now?
No, I'm not. I don't do it every day. I don't do it every day. In the weekends, I don't do it. Yeah, like I don't have like this rule, like I'm gonna do this Monday to Friday, and then I don't do it on the weeks. I do when I feel to do it, and I feel to do that pretty often because it feels good. Feels really good.
Yeah.
For example, today, 10 o'clock, it's the 16 hours period. So when I eat lunch today around noon, I'm gonna have 18 hours without food, just water. And it's crazy, I feel really good now. I feel a lot of energy. I don't feel like I have to drink coffee to have energy or have any energetic things that I never do anyway. I don't need any complements to have energy. I always feel that I have a lot of energy. And I sleep 6 to 7 hours per night, never more than 6 or 7 hours. When I can, that's been very rare, I try to take a nap of 1 hour after lunch, but lately I've been pretty busy. I don't have too much time to do that nap, but still feeling really good. When I have that nap, it's the perfect combination for me. Sleep 5 to 6 hours during the night and have 1 hour nap in the afternoon. It's the perfect combination for me, but it's not. You cannot do that every day. You know, I've been like very busy, and that's not been fitting too much. But I don't remember me thinking like, oh man, I don't have energy today. You know, and I see like a lot of people dealing with this energy thing. You know, like, oh, my coffee. I need my coffee. You know, I need my coffee all the time, and people buying this little energetic fire thing. You know, me personally, I never even tried this Monster Energetic or Red Bull, whatever the brand is. You know, they are all out there and people really drinking them. I never even tried them. I don't even know how they taste and what's the effect on you. And actually, I drink coffee every morning, and when I don't feel any difference. I don't feel any difference with coffee. I actually drink coffee because I like the taste, I like the smell of coffee, I like what coffee is a,
And the
you know,
benefits and the antioxidants.
yeah, the antioxidants and the benefits, but I don't feel like I need coffee in the morning to do anything. You know, I can just have a smoothie or don't have anything or just water, and I feel running same with or without it.
And I'm curious, what was one time before that you were eating, but you didn't, you were eating, you thought that you were eating correctly, but you didn't have any energy? Do you remember what you were eating about that time? Like you came in the UK, you came in Brazil, you
Yeah.
came in here.
Yeah, definitely when I overeat something, like of course you have the cheating days, people call it cheating days. I don't call it cheating days, I call it like a regular day that I just feel like to eat something different. You know, sometimes I eat a pizza, sometimes I eat a food that I prepare that I like a lot and I overeat it. So the only thing that really crashed my energy is whatever I eat in excess. You know, whatever I overeat crashed my energy. You know, if I have a night, for example, I invite a lot of friends to my house and we have a night watching fights or whatever we gather together and people bring a lot of food and you talk in there and you overeat, definitely the next morning I'm gonna feel low energy, you know, because I believe that just my body spending more energy to digest that food. And when you don't have your body working that hard to digest the food, I think your energy is there. You know, what about you? What do you feel like to eat more? I know that Rafael, he follows a very strict diet. He's very, actually, Rafael, he really motivates me on the food aspect because I know he's very dedicated with what he eats. He always have his food ready on his bag. After the workout, he always have his oatmeal. He eats there, and I really appreciate.
He always complains that I don't share with him.
Yeah, I always make a joke like, "Where's my oatmeal? You didn't bring oatmeal to me." And yeah, tell a little bit what you follow and what you try and your energy levels, how that works for you.
So for me, that I have been trying to give you a little bit of context. I started from Venezuela in my family, and I told you this a little bit of what they eat normally. So if you Hispanic, you understand like this is something normal for us, and you're in Brazil, so you understand that the normal plate in Latin America, most of us is rice, the meat. If you have plantains or you have how to say butter, you can have cheese. So it's always not much vegetables and stuff like that. So that was my household basically in Venezuela, on my grandma. So and when I was with my mom, she mixed things here and there, and that's one of the reasons because I eat a lot of rice, and Jackson always tells me, man, you eat too much rice all the time, and I love it. It's because of that, because I grew up with rice all the time. So I still have that cravings all the time, and then when I don't see rice, for me, there's no food at all. So, so when I have that, when I see that plate, there's no vegetables, there's nothing. So I was trying to see what can I do to get better. Plus, I have a condition called hypoglycemic. So that's the inverse of, this is my understanding of how I paraphrase it. So it's the inverse of diabetes. So I have normal insulin levels, but my sugar levels are low. So it's something that I have been dealing that with my whole life. So I'm always trying to feel a little bit better and feel fit and try to fix that and not have diabetes because I can have a higher chance to have it. So I started from Venezuela, trying it out, working out and everything. Nothing worked. I tried to eat less, always having cravings, always trying to eat more because I didn't eat well before. Then when I got here in the US, 2 to 3 years, I still doing what I was doing, nothing, fluctuating all the time. Like Justin was saying, like it's up and down, and it's not even the weight, just the cravings is too much. Like I do the diet normal Monday to Thursday or Friday, and then on Friday I have the cheat meal, and then my whole weekend I feel that and I don't even, sometimes I overeat, but just the either pizza, either whatever cheat meal you consider your cheat meal, I feel it the whole weekend. Like I'm recovering literally the whole weekend. So I was looking something online for something to try differently, and then I found veganism. And then I say like this because um, I'm eating on their rules basically, but I don't consider myself veganism because it's like it's something that they have like a cult mentality. I don't like that. I
Yeah,
don't
no
get into a
brand, right?
place.
Don't put a brand, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
So
I'm vegan, I'm this.
yeah.
Same as me, you know. I don't say like people. I don't call myself a vegan or a vegetarian. I just try to balance what I
our
eat.
way.
Yeah, like to balance. You know, I rarely eat meat. I rarely eat animal products. But if I go to somebody's house and I get there and whatever the food's there, I just eat. Sometimes me and my family we get some meat in the house and we eat and it's
Yeah.
fine. You know, I think pretty much like just don't overdo it. You
Yeah.
know, just don't like abuse of everything. Like people that eat like meat two, three times, twice a
Well,
day, lunch and evening, every day. You know, sausages, all this processed food.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you go extreme like that, it's that's where the problem
And that's
is.
it, and that's the thing. And I was saying Jackson before we started that we have one of the students um, that was asking me about, hey, what can I do to eat better, or what are you doing, and anything, and to finish the idea that I was saying, like veganism, what I learned from starting there, I keep following. I'm not that open as Jackson because it doesn't work for me. Because if I go there and I leave a window open of, oh, I can eat dairy here and there, I can eat meat here and there, then I'm gonna leave myself to, I can do whatever I want and eat ice cream here. And so for me, I have to go to the other extreme that I cannot eat it because if I break it, I'm gonna feel horrible, and I literally feel horrible. So for me, it doesn't work that way. So that's why Jackson said in the beginning that I follow like a strict diet, but for me is the best. So for me, I eat
Perfect
like
if
heavy.
that works.
So
Yeah.
exactly. So it worked for me. Now, when the student asked me about, hey, what can I do to eat better, or what are you doing, and anything, and I told him, hey, I eat this way. I eat plant based. I don't eat anything outside of that. But for you, I asked him, what do you like? What do you like, and what do you feel the best? And he said, man, I always have craving of meats, and I don't feel bad after it. So I said, man, see if you want to try keto. Keto is a lot of meat and fats, and he tried it and he lost a bunch of
Yeah,
weight. And
I
he
see
came,
it.
yeah, he came back and everything. And then he said, man, I lost a lot of weight and I'm super happy, super energized. He's great. So that's the point that Jackson and I are trying to make, that you don't need something. Just one thing is gonna fix everything. And I was here in the car, one podcast. I was talking about exactly what we're talking in right now. That most people have like a bandwagon, like they see a diet and then they jump on it,
Yeah.
and then they have. They were saying this example is exactly how they were saying it. They have a cookie. They take the cookie and then it's like, oh, cheat day, boom. Then they stop.
It's
They
open
roll.
up,
Yeah,
yeah.
they roll over the mountain. And then they go back. They see another different bandwagon, and then they jump on it again. So it's something that they go up and down, like Jackson would say, like up and down through their life without understanding. And this it's not our fault because sometimes we don't get this information when we're younger, and we should. But it's something that you need to find yourself. What do you like to eat? What do you enjoy the best? How can you like it? How can you prepare for you to love it and then do it for the rest of your life? So you need to discover the same way that we discovered and it's working for us. I always say for everybody, maybe for me, when I'm 40, 50, 30, whatever, my body's gonna change, I'm gonna start eating meat. I never close the door because it's unrealistic to say that I'm always gonna eat this way and I'm never gonna eat this type of food again. And that way you leave yourself like no limitations and no anything, and no cult mentality that you have to do it this
Yeah.
way, and then you get sick, and then no, it's not the
You feel
way.
guilty, too guilty.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's something that you need to discover. There's one thing that Jackson and I, we discussed it before, and we're gonna tell you because this is one of the theories that we have. If you see, just look it up: keto, pescatarian, veganism, vegetarian, all the diets that are right now, like for around the world, around the U.S. Every single one cleans you from processed food, industrial food, everything that is packaged, everything that is fast food. It eliminates all that stuff and tells you to eat a little bit more of whole foods.
Yeah.
Whole foods, as a store, by the way, it's just you preparing the food, you cooking a little bit more, you understanding what you put into your food, into your diet, into your body. Every single one tells you that stuff. So why you are not gonna do that? And I know most people, and I think I told you that when I was on the supermarket here in the Kroger nearby, there was a guy on the fridge department part, like all the cold foods and all the frozen foods. He was getting boxes of meals, just prepared meals, just boxes, and then, and for example, I was having just fruits and vegetables and everything that I'm gonna do at home, and the guy was just getting boxes and boxes of frozen meals prepared already. So most of you guys have that because you have the time, but you need to discover, because that's gonna burn your energy. That's not gonna give you the energy. If you feel fine with it, man, run with it. But if you feel horrible, this is exactly the conversation that you need to hear, because it's a different path.
I think your body adapts a lot with that too. And if you keep like,
I think so.
This guy probably he eat this pre-made food, this processed food for years, so his body like adapts to that diet, and he end up like feeling okay with that, you know. So
imagine that he started with eating box food because the parents gave him.
Exactly.
So this is little. So.
Yeah. So I really believe that of course jiu-jitsu and diets goes together a lot, because the Grace family, when they start jiu-jitsu, they start their own diet, the Grace diet. That's actually it's a very good option. You know, it's nothing different. It's just like the combination of the food. You don't combine certain foods with others, and of course you don't see like soda and like ham and these kind of things, you know, like processed meat and processed food on the Grace diet. So if a student comes to me like, professor, what do you think about the Grace diet? I ask like, so what are you eating right now? Oh, I'm drinking soda, I put sauces on my food all the time, I have all these kinds of dressing on my salad. I tell people like, hey, if you want to start somewhere, clean your house, clean your fridge, go there in your fridge. Take these things that you know those things are not good for you. Soda, processed meat, processed food, sausages, and all these things. Just take that out. Don't think about do a extremely change right now. Just slowly clean up. Take those things out of your way.
Transition to eating clean.
Yes, just like slowly start to remove what's really bad for you. Remove those things out first and get the habit of taste your food without all those excess on top. You know, soda is something that's really bad for you, and everybody knows, but lots of people drinking it. We ask the kids all the time, like, hey, who actually this month we're gonna talk about health with the kids on the character development program. For 2 months now we're gonna talk about health, and I'm super excited because the kids are super excited to talk about that, right? And they tell like everything what their parents do at the house. One kid here came this week, like we talk about soda and stuff, and said, professor, my dad he drinks a lot of soda, but it's okay, it's Diet Coke, you know. And we all know that Diet Coke is as bad as the regular Coke or even more. But the kid, he think that's fine, you know. He think like his dad's planting that thing, like, oh no, I'm drinking soda, but it's diet soda, you know. So like the kid understand that thing's not as bad as if his dad is drinking the regular Coke, and it's just growing on him, you know. And actually the kid, he says like, no, I don't drink soda, my dad do, but I don't do it. And like, wow, that's a big challenge for the child, you know, because his dad is his best example, and the dad is doing something that's giving that wrong education for the kid, that diet soda is okay. You know, one thing that I always use as example is when you put the wrong fuel on your body, you put the wrong gasoline, like related with food, like when you eat wrong, and you know you're eating that food wrong, so you pretty much you're hurting your mechanics, your mechanism is being like hurt every day. So imagine like somebody that have a bad habit of food, Imagine like you wake up every day, you get a hammer, you put your finger there, and you go with the hammer and you smash your finger with the hammer, right? Gonna hurt a lot, gonna hurt your finger a lot. And then next day is gonna be a little better, right? Your finger gonna heal, your body gonna do all that work, all that process to heal your finger, right? So next day you're gonna look at your finger a little better. You go put there again, get the hammer and go again. Boom, hurt your finger again. And then next day you're gonna wake up, your finger is there, your body do that all that work to heal, and you get the hammer, you go that again on your finger, and you smash your finger again. So you keep doing that every day on your finger. Would you do that? Would you do that in real life? You get the hammer and smash your finger every day. You don't do that, okay? But you do something that's very much similar with the food. You know, you don't feel it, but every day you do that hammer in your finger. Your body trying to recover. Your body's telling you, and then you get sick, and then your body is trying to tell you, like, hey, please, just give me the right food. Give me a little bit of the right food, so I'm gonna be able to function better. You know, it's the same thing with your car. You go and you buy a nice car. You don't put water in the tank. Why you don't put water in the tank? Because your car not gonna function. But you do that in your body. You put the wrong thing inside your body. But oh no, my car, no. I pay a lot of money for my car, and I can't just put this cheap oil in the engine, right? Because it's an expensive car. But then you put that expensive oil in your car and you drive through a fast food restaurant, right? 5 minutes after, and you're okay to put that thing in your body, you know?
Cheap stuff in you.
So it's really hard, you know? It's really hard to get this education. I think I think we are walking towards a much better way. People start to recognize how important that is and how much the bad habits bring you to this very common disease that there is out there now. Heart attack, what else? Diabetes, one, two, all kinds of diabetes. Yesterday was funny, we were talking here with the kids about health, and I said to the kid, hey, what's happening if you eat like 5 spoons of sugar every day? And the kid like, wow, you're gonna get diabetes. And the kids, they know, is that I'm talking about a 5-year-old kid. He said like, if you eat 5 spoons of sugar every day, you're gonna get diabetes. I don't even know if that's the case, but the kid brought that up, you know. So it's out there, you know.
I will tell you something that I heard in one of the podcasts that I hear about health. The guy studies diabetes and the relationship with obesity and cancer and everything. There's 10 people, and those 10 people are obese. 9 will have diabetes. 9. It's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 5, it's not half, it's 9. So 90% of people will have diabetes if they're obese.
Overweight.
So that's something that and remember that diabetes is a condition that it can literally kill you, and something that is super scary for your whole family, because it can go through your genes and your kids can have it. And this is something that I'm really interested, because I always seen, not only in my family, the perception like, oh, for your kids it's super hard to eat well, super hard for them to eat vegetables. I always had that preconception of, I don't know if the kids like vegetables and stuff like that. It's super hard. But when I see not only Jackson kids or the other student, there's another student that helps with the class and everything. Both of their kids come here and they're eating always something well. And then when they get offered whatever, soda, it can be candy or whatever, and the same thing with yours, they always say no.
Yeah.
They always say no, or they see the food that other kids see outside there, that they see McDonald's, like they see like, oh my God, I want to eat it so bad. They see acai bowls, and acai is like a fruit that you mix it with other fruits and veggies and everything, and then you put a little bit of the homemade granola if you want to, or whatever, or just as a smoothie, and it's all fruit and vegetables in it. And they see that, and drinking is like the best thing in the world. So the kids do what you do.
Yeah.
So that's what I have learned, like for my thing as a preconceived, like I thought the kids would just prefer those things because it's easier, because it's tastier. But they see it in their parents because they gave it to them because it's easier. The parent thinks that if you give it to them, they won't complain, because if you give them something vegetables and broccoli. The broccoli is the famous one. Like, oh, everybody has broccoli.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not like that. It depends on what you eat as a parent, and your kids are gonna do exactly what you're doing because there's one thing that in our process of development is 0 to 7. They're just absorbing information from the outside world. So they're absorbing your behavior. So if you as a parent are cooking and everything, you're doing everything for yourself the best way possible to feel the best, they're gonna do the same exact thing for them.
Yeah, it's just it's out there, you know. It's your choice, you know. You're definitely gonna feel better if you limit the bad food that you eat, you know. Like try to find the best options and try it. Try like go for a month, maybe a week. Try to take those bad things out of your way. Go less to restaurants and fast food restaurants especially. You know, I think it's I've been on both sides. I've been very having very bad habits of food, and I was very lucky. Maybe around 2004, 2005, I met my mentor at that time in London. His name was Felipe Alves de Souza. He was my professor there in London. When I met him, he was a vegetarian. It was the first time that I really like have a direct relation with somebody vegetarian. And Felipe really gave me a good influence and a good leadership on the food habits. And I start watching him and hang out with him all the time, and I see that the way that he eats, and that was a big influence for me, you know. And I remember he always tell me like, "Hey Jackson, your students gonna always have you as a role model, you know. You don't wanna go out with your students and get drunk unless you're okay with that. If that's what you wanna teach them, you know, go out with them, go to a bar, drink, get drunk, and eat all those kinds of food in a bar. And if that you want to your students, that's what you want to teach them, do it. You know, me personally, I don't do it. I try to give my students the best example I can. Not just they're gonna learn something right from me, but gonna totally benefit myself. You know, and that's what's happened. Of course, I'm very lucky to lead a group of kids and adults that they want to follow what I do. They see me as a role model. So I feel when I have the opportunity to have that bad meal in front of me, I always think about my students. I always think like, okay, I'm gonna do this now, but this is not the best option, you know. So that's really limits what my choices, you know, because I'm not doing a choice just for me. I'm doing a choice for everybody that's around me too. You know, if I go have a night out with my students, we're gonna go to a bar, maybe watch fights or something. I already have that with me. I go to a bar, I know that I'm not gonna go there and gonna drink 5 beers, 6 beers with my students in front of them. Why? Because they're gonna think that's right. First, because I don't drink. It's not something that I do. But even something that I love to drink, man, I can't go a day without a beer. You know, I would probably not do that in front of my students and let them know that's what I do. You know, like give this incentive to them, like, hey guys, man, drink is good for you.
Yeah.
You know, eat bad food, it's okay. You know, have barbecue every day and eat everything you want every day. You know, I don't think that's my position doesn't allow me to do that. In the end of the day, I'm very lucky to have this position.
Yeah, it benefits everybody.
And it benefits everybody in the end of the day. You know, benefits me that I came from a very poor nutrition education. I never had it when I was young. And I try to do that different for my kids. You know, I don't force them to do anything, but I always give them options. I always give them like the best option. And if they don't want that, it's fine.
Yeah.
My son recently, he said like, hey Dad, can I just eat the school lunch? Can I eat the food in the school? I say, yeah, sure, no problem. You know, he's getting like 12, 13, he's feeling a little ashamed to walk in the school with his lunch box every day, you know, and I'm fine with that, you know. And randomly I asked him like, hey, what do you had for food today? Today I had salad. Which dress did you use for the salad? No, I didn't use any dress. I just put some oil and salt in it. good. If he said like, I use the blue cheese dress ranch, whatever, I would not say anything. That's fine. He ate that. For the fact that he chose the salad, for me is okay. But after years of he watching me eating the salad without dressing and making my right choices, he's already prepared to face a school cafeteria where there's a lot of pizza and hot dogs there, and he go for the salad, because I plant that seed on him. He go to a birthday party and he choose water instead of soda. And it's not because I ask him, I come to him, hey, don't eat that soda. Maybe I did that before, once or twice. I say, hey, look, there's soda, and there's water. Which one do you want? I want the soda. Okay, so let's have like half of the soda. Okay, like slowly plant that seed on your kids. Plant that seed on yourself. Try to be a better you, with the food habits. Because if there's something that you can really improve on your life, it's what you eat. The choices are out there. It's up to you to choose what you're gonna eat every day. And I know time is an issue. You don't have the same time that maybe Rafael and I we have to cook our foods. I know because my wife, she work office hours and she don't have the same time that I have. So I always try to cook extra food and leave that as an option for them. The quinoa is in my fridge today, but I don't expect my kids to come home, okay, today everybody just eat quinoa. No, it's there, but they can have something else with that. Yeah. Or they don't have that at all. They don't want to eat that quinoa at all. Maybe the quinoa going to stay there for the whole week and I'm the only one that's going to eat it. But that option is there. They have that option there. Yeah. So it's just a matter of you plant the seed every day. And believe me, it's something really hard to do. It's hard. You don't have time. Food is pleasant to eat. It feels good to eat that food. That's not the best option for you. You may feel a little guilty after, but try to plant it. Try to think about it a little more. And especially if you are getting into a new activity, the New Year's resolution, I'm going to start to work out and I'm not going to eat those things anymore. Make a New Year's resolution everyday thing. Make like your life resolution every day and try to improve every day. Don't wait until 2020, January 2020 to try to change something. Change it now. Try now. Try from today, not from tomorrow morning, from Monday. Today's the day. Today's the day. If you are listening to our talk today, try to, after this, your next meal, to put one or two things off. If you think that there's anything that you agree with us, try to plant that there. Try to adjust what you eat, and believe me, the results are incredible, and there is no doubt that's gonna benefit you a lot. And good food sometimes a little bit more expensive, but medical bills are way more expensive. When you're sick, you can't work, you can't do a lot of things, and you're not gonna eat a good food and you're gonna feel good tomorrow. But it's a especially probably like when you're after 50, 55 years old, you're gonna pay the price for your bad habits today.
Yes, and we can end the talk with two things, and to continue a little bit of the point what Jackson was saying, that what you're eating right now in the present day is something that you're gonna thank yourself 10 years from now, 5 years from now. And then that same person that you are 5 to 10 years from now, you're gonna thank yourself in the past. And now that same present day after those years, you're gonna have to keep going so that you can thank yourself again in the future years. Mm-hmm. So two things that to take away that from what we have talked and what I have learned as well from Jackson in my experience is the trial and error. You have to do it. You have to try it out. So as a number one, you have to try out different things, see what works for you. And then, for example, this month you can start with keto. The next one you can start with pescatarian. The next one you try different thing until you find your own way, balance it out a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It doesn't have to be one way. It doesn't have to be one diet and then that's the one. No, you open the doors that you want to open until you feel that, okay, I have it, I love it, that you enjoy it. Because that's another misconception, that most people think that you have to diet and you have to suffer to feel amazing. No, you don't have to suffer. You know, like we love our food.
Yeah.
Every day that we love our food and then we feel incredible after. So it doesn't have to taste horrible either. So it's something that most people think is gonna think right now. Oh, yeah, like Jackson would say, oh, quinoa with broccoli. It tastes incredible. Already eating Jackson's having it tasting amazing. So you don't have to worry about. It has to be awful with the vegetables and with the fruit and everything. No, it's gonna be amazing. Just create it your own way. The second one is the environment that you're in. Like Jackson was saying again, like he goes to a bar, everybody that is surrounded by him is drinking everything. Probably that if he drinks because he's being a leader, then other people will drink. So you have to have an environment that is different. The medium or the average is like they're eating incredible and they feel incredible and they look not the looking part, but more of they feel and they want to feel better every day and they want to eat incredible food. So that's something that you need to be surrounded more. I was, for example, I went to, I think I told you already that when my mom works with another company, and I went to visit the office, and nobody works in the office because most people they were looking for an office, sorry. So they were looking for a place to have an office here in Houston, and the place, like the same building that they are right now, they have a little closet with snacks. With snacks. So they have a closet that have full of snacks that people just get up to the desk and then they take it. Unlimited snacks, unlimited. And you know this, if you work in all your company, you know this. Not only that, they were having an event, and guess what? They were having Chick-fil-A. They were having Chick-fil-A, everybody. So everybody do it, you're gonna do it as well, probably. So if everybody goes and takes a snack, probably gonna do it as well. So you have to be in an environment that most people or the average is eating well, feeling well.
Yeah.
And
not everybody can do that, huh? Not everybody can.
Yeah, so that's why.
Choice.
So that's a cheat code right there. So you pick the environment that you want to be, and the way that you want to look, the way you want to feel, the way everything. Pick the right group for you that you want to follow. And like Jackson said, he met his mentor on Felipe. Felipe got that environment around him, and he followed, and he feels incredible. So that's something that you need to find as well. And why I say cheat code, because when you are like just consistent days with those people, you're gonna do the same exact thing. And that's why I'm lucky enough in Jackson as well of being surrounded with everybody here, being surrounded by each other, that we push each other when instead of having cheap meals, we know that neither of us is gonna do that. And when Jackson feel a little bit weak and doesn't want to work out, he knows that I'll be here. And the same for me. If I feel a little bit like, oh man, I don't want to work out, I know that Jackson's gonna be here. So it's like pushing each other.
Yes, the influence is very important, and I believe that's gonna lead you in a way that after you apply this change in your life and you get very strong, you're not gonna need it anymore. You know, you're gonna be in the middle of the wolves, but you don't have to do what the wolves do. You know, you're gonna get strong. And today, for example, if I go to a place where there is only the food that I don't agree to eat, I'm gonna be fine there. I'm not gonna let that situation fool me and like, oh, this food smells so good, I have to eat it. No, you're gonna get stronger, and that's gonna benefit you in many, many ways. Gonna change a little bit who you are, and that's what it is. Our message today, you don't have to agree with what we think. It's we just sharing.
Or even what we eat. You just find your own thing and try it out.
Just do your own judgment about what you think is right for you. We are just sharing what we think that's right for us.
Yeah.
And make your comments if you have any critics, if you think that this doesn't make any sense and there is another idea that you want to put it on, just write a comment there and share with us. And of course, we are here not just trying to teach our students a lifestyle that's gonna benefit them and gonna make them better in life.
That is
the
working
combination of jiu-jitsu and health habits, you know, to eat, especially with kids. You know, we really try to influence the kids in a healthy way. We had the game day this weekend, and we put this full table of fruit for the kids, banana, apples, pears, and everything for the kids. And then yesterday I asked the kids, hey, did you guys like those fruits? And they, oh my God, we love those fruits. What about if those fruits were cupcakes? They would say the same thing. Oh my God, those cupcakes were so good. But they like fill their belly with bananas and apples because we believe that this is something that the parents not gonna judge us. There's some parents, they don't like the kids to eat cupcakes, but most of the parents are okay with the kids eating apples and bananas. So that's why when we do, for example, the parent asks us, hey, it's my son's birthday, I would like to bring some food for the kids in the gym. We always tell the parent, that's great, bring the food, but the food that we allow to bring here for the kids are only fruits. We don't want you to bring a cake, cookies. We used to let that happen, and we found out that there's a lot of parents, they don't like that. It's 7 o'clock, 6:30 in the afternoon, and they don't want the kids to eat cookies at that time because they're gonna go home and gonna have dinner. So we limited that now. When the parents ask like, hey, can you celebrate my kid's birthday in the gym? Of course. Can you bring a cake? No, I'm sorry, you cannot bring a cake. You can bring fruit, you can bring fruit salad, but something that we know that all the parents gonna be okay because every family have different rules and every family think different. Me, for example, I don't like that my kid gonna eat 5 cookies at 7 p.m. before dinner time. But I'm okay if he eats 2 bananas and an apple, I'm okay with that. So that's something that we apply in the gym recently and been working very good for us. On the game day especially, man, you see the kids, they're like eating all that fruit.
They don't even miss it. They don't even say like, oh, where's the cookies? Where's the cupcakes? They don't say
They didn't even miss. They loved the option that they had there, and was great.
Yeah.
So thank you very much to listen for us. One more time, we're having a blast to share this idea with you guys. I thought that's actually going to be much harder than what it is to sit and talk with the camera and share our ideas. I've been having a good time doing that. I believe that you're also enjoying it.
Slowly we're getting a little bit better.
Yeah, we are really enjoying it, and that's what's matter. You know, sit here and talk and share the ideas with people. We are surrounded with people here, and that's what we do. So thank you, Rafael. You have any last message to everybody?
I'm good. So like Jackson said, just leave a comment there. Whatever topic that you want to us to discuss, and if you're a student here, just let us know as well. So that's why we bring this up, because most students brings this up all the time. So let us know and share with someone that needs a little bit of a different perspective, and hopefully you try it. Let us know if it works for you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Ciao, ciao.